Okay, everybody, welcome back to the Wheel of Names. Yes, that's right, ladies and gentlemen, we have the Wheel of Names here. Okay, and without further ado, let's get on to spinning the wheel. See what we get for this episode. Let's see, baby, come on. Give me something good. Give me something. Ooh, yeah, okay, alright. The Saber. Ooh, baby, the Saber. More like the Saber. Alright, cool. I actually like this car, so let's get started. Sick.
Oh, shit! I need.
What the hell happened here? Can I get in this car? Oh. Huh. Hey, it's me, Uncle Pulltab. Hey, listen, nephew. Your uncle here, he lost his license from a DUI again. I think it's time for you to be a man. Here. Take the keys to my '84 Sabre for me for a while, okay? And can you give me a ride to the gas station, too? I need to buy another pack of Marlboro Reds. Thanks. Last episode, I said how the Admiral would never fit in GTA 5 because it was seen as outdated and old. But this would fit perfectly in GTA 5. I suppose Roger didn't add it because it looks too much like the faction. Why did I choose Guile's theme from Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo? Because it's awesome, and it perfectly embodies the vibe I get from this car. 1984 Declasse Sabre, the official car of mullets and quiet rides. People might get this car confused with the similarly styled Blizzard faction, which looks a lot like the GM G-body platform, which the Sabre is also based on. I'll get to that in a minute. I suppose the only difference here is the glass or hard T-top panel on the top of the car. The Sabre has been around for quite a while in the series. It debuted in GTA Vice City resembling a 1970 Chevy Chevelle. There was also a slightly modified version of the Sabre in Vice City and VCS known as the Saber Turbo. There was no handling performance differences from the standard Sabre, it just looked a little bit different. The design hardly changed in the subsequent game San Andreas. I forgot to write this down in the script, but there also was a unique variant of the Sabre in VCS called the Cholo Saber. Yes, I know what a Cholo is. Anyway, it's basically, I think, the same thing as the Saber Turbo. I'm not sure if it handles any different than the standard Saber. And if you played San Andreas, or at least a little bit, then you probably know that the green Saber was the car that drove by Carl Johnson's house in San Andreas that inadvertently killed his mother. I'm not going to spoil it too much, but I will play this clip here from the introduction scene on the special edition PS2 version of the game.
CJ, it's your brother.
Okay, what you want?
I think you better come home. It's about Mama. She's dead, bro.
Wow, that actually kind of hit me a bit there in the... Oof. That kind of hurts. Wow, that was... Oh, sorry, where was I? The Sabre drastically changed in design in GTA 4. And now the car was based off a GM G-body platform. Specifically a 4th generation Chevy Monte Carlo and a 4th generation Buick Regal. The GM G-Body was a platform in production from 1982 to 1988 and was designated for GM's mid-size rear-drive cars. It gave us such gems as the Chevy Malibu, Oldsmobile Cutlass Cruiser, and Oldsmobile Hearst Olds, a car Mr. Ego reviewed recently actually. I'll be focusing mostly on the Monte Carlo for the knowledge section. The Monte Carlo was a mid-size rear-drive 2-door coupe produced from 1981 to 1988. It's featured about 7 engine choices, but I'll only go over a few. The smallest option was a 3.75 liter Chevy V6 and a 3.8 liter Buick V6. Wow, a whole 0.5 liters of displacement more. And for the larger displacement options, you could have had a 4.4 or 5.0 small block V8. Additionally, diesel options were also available, but I doubt many opted for those options. The Monte Carlo could be paired with a 3 or 4-speed automatic, and yes, of course, there was the legendary Monte Carlo SS. And speaking of the G-Body, we also gave us such cool cars as the Buick Regal and the Buick GNX, which is like, you know, one of those like oh so holy cars. It's like up there with the Supra, but it's not nearly as overpraised as the Supra. Which is why I like it. It's not like overpraised by 12-year-olds who have no idea that a Supra doesn't make 1,000 horsepower stock, basically. Okay, moving back over to the Saber. According to in-game models and badge, we have a longitudinally mounted 9.0 liter or 550 cubic inch single overhead cam V8. I also noticed the SS after the 550 on the decals. Possibly this is a nod to the SS model of the Monte Carlo, although the body appears to be based on the standard model. All this displacement is paired to a 5-speed gearbox, and let me tell you, I had a blast with this car. I won't talk about performance just yet. I want to talk a bit about the Saber GT. Now, I suppose the Saber GT could be called the predecessor to the newer Saber in GTA 4. It bears the same design of the original Saber from the 3D universe, and appears to be based on the Saber Turbo from the older games, despite being labeled Saber GT. I won't talk much about this car, as it already exists in GTA 5, and I'll probably review it once I get back from my vacation in Liberty City. A few things of note though, is that the Saber GT has turbocharged badging in GTA 4, and actually has a turbo spooling sound when you rev the engine. Take a listen. Now obviously, the Saber GT, or Saber Turbo as it's correctly called in GTA 5, does not have the turbo spooling sound, at least stock anyway. Also, according to the badging, the Saber GT features the same 9-liter engine as the standard Saber. Your question probably is the Saber GT better than the Saber? Well, unfortunately I couldn't find any head-to-head races on YouTube putting the two up against each other, but according to the handling configuration files in the game, Saber GT can do about 90, whereas the Saber only does 87. Must be down to that turbocharger, I guess. How's the car handle? Holy cow, it handles like a true 80s muscle car. Well, I can't really be the one to talk, as I've never driven one, but it feels like how it would drive if it was an 80s action film. I feel like some rebellious teenager when I'm doing some one-wheel peels at the parking lots and near Franklin International Airport. The thing handles beautifully, not a lot of body roll, just enough torque to remain in control and plenty of speed. Not as fast as the Super GT, but this one felt way more fun to drive. As I stated before in my last episode, I don't think Rockstar wanted to add the Admiral to GTA 5 because it looks very outdated. And also somebody commented because we already had the Stanier in GTA 5, so what's the point of having another car that looks kind of like it? The same would go, I think, for the Willard faction and the Saber, but this thing would look sick as a lowrider, or hell, maybe like a custom version where you can make into some kind of like supercharged V8 monster. I had a lot of fun recording clips for this car, and I'm glad I finally got to review a true muscle car. Yes, I noticed the Stallion, Figaro, Ruiner, and Coquette. Is that how you pronounce it? I think so. But this one hit the mark just right. Not too floaty like the Stallion, and not too overpowered like the Ruiner. 1984, Declasse Sabre. I better go. I think Uncle Pulltab wants his car back. Well, there you go, folks. The 1984 Declasse Sabre. I forgot to mention about the beater version of this car. I couldn't actually find one. I thought maybe they would spawn if I drove the regular one, but I couldn't find it. But it's basically just a. It's like basically just a, has terrible paint and missing some headlights and stuff. But unlike the GTA 5 beaters, they actually have performance differences from the normal car. Which I wish GTA 5 did the same thing, but unfortunately they didn't do that, which is really stupid. But yeah, even the beater Sabre is actually pretty fun to drive, albeit I think it feels a bit more floaty because probably the suspension is supposed to be like broken or something. But yeah, I had a lot of fun making a video about this car, and I'm thinking my first car I'll review when I come back to San Andreas is the Faction, because the Faction is very similar in design to the Sabre, and I almost out of footage, so I'll talk to y'all next time, everybody. Have a good one. Peace out.